Hi, I'm Ian. I'm a former master's student here at Carleton. I'm now working with the communications team. I do some communication stuff. And I'm here to talk with Claire French, a second year master's student at Carleton right now in the philosophy department. A little bit about master's programs, master's applications, things of that nature.
I think uh, so. When I was applying to master's programs, I'm a first generation university student, so I have literally no one in my family who
Right.
could help me with any of this stuff. So, in order to figure out how to navigate all the genuinely quite complicated bureaucratic
Nonsense.
red tape of applying to a graduate program, I relied really heavily on my undergraduate supervisors in the two departments that I was in as an undergrad. And the thing that really sticks out to me as something that I would recommend to other students who are looking to apply to grad school is get someone who you trust and who is a faculty member to look over everything you submit.
Yes.
Because if you have someone in your department who you've worked with relatively closely as an undergrad, or who is there maybe just the undergraduate supervisor, and it might be their job to help you out with that stuff, talk to them, email them, ask them if they'll review your letters and your writing sample if they're really really kind, because I guarantee you don't know what you're doing, even if you feel like you do.
Yeah.
And it often works out for students. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, and I obviously got in here, and I also got into the University of Victoria. But yeah, you'll feel a lot more confident.
Yeah.
If you have a genuine professional help you.
Yes, that is the core advice, is have someone who knows what they're doing tell you where you're going wrong.
I know exactly what I'd do differently, which was submit a different writing sample.
Okay.
I don't think I submitted a good writing sample to UBC.
I see, yeah.
And I got rejected pretty quickly from UBC,
Yeah.
so I switched up my writing sample going forward, and I used a paper that I got an A on, and that I was like, this is a very boring paper,
Yep.
but it's a very good paper.
Yeah.
And so that'd be another piece of advice, is use your most boringly competent writing sample.
Yes, the one that shows you can write is really, because no one is reading your master's application and going, oh, is this the next great philosopher?
Yeah.
Is this the next Wittgenstein? No one's doing that.
I wanted to submit something that was sort of more related to my direct interests that I wanted to be studying.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this pretty boring, it was like a 10 to 12 page paper about Aristotle's Politics.
Yeah.
Was just the best thing I'd written in the past 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, it's boring, but it's competent. It'll get me in, and it did.
Yes.
I guess if you're at the point where you're watching this video, I can't tell you to go back in time and get really close with professors over the course of your 4 years of undergrad.
Yeah.
But that's what I did.
Okay.
I did a research project over one summer with one of my referees, and the other, I just, he was around the department quite a bit, and I chatted with him. And then Professor Frankel, here in this department, for the applications that didn't come to Carleton, I took, I think, 5 courses with her over the course of my undergrad. So she got very familiar with who I am. And so when I came to her looking for a reference letter, she was very, she knew who I was, and she could write pretty intelligently about my capabilities as a student. So yeah, if you're looking for referees, you should probably pick the people who are at the intersection of the field you're applying into, obviously philosophy, and who you know, and who you can have a sort of relationship with, where they're not going to give you a sort of boilerplate letter of reference based off of things you tell them, as opposed to things that they have experienced with you in the classroom.
Yeah. Now, if you were like me and you get to 4th year of your undergrad and you've never gone to a single office hour, you've never done a side project with any professor or anything, then don't fret. You can still get a letter of reference. It just might not be as personal as you would want it to be. My reference letter writers, one of them I took one course with, and he gave me an A+, and all his feedback was very positive in my papers that I wrote. So I just asked him one day, hey, like, we just did a course together. You seem to like my work. Would you be a letter writer? He said, well, sure, yeah, just tell me when the due dates are and all that. Send me the links, whatever. And that was very helpful, and it seemed to have gone well.
Yeah, well, when I was writing my statement of intent, I sat there in front of my computer. It was 2020, I think. The pandemic was happening, and I was kind of sad and miserable, and I'm like, how do I put all of my very seemingly disparate interests in, like, you know, medieval philosophy, like medieval Latin Christian philosophy, sort of more contemporary postmodern ethical and aesthetic theory, and you know, Descartes and all these other, like, things that I really love and would love to be able to research. How do I bring them all together in a way that, you know, one, makes me seem like an appealing candidate, and two, makes me seem like I know what I'm talking about? And the thing I've found really helpful was finding a thread that connects all of them, because I think truly rare is the person whose interests are completely not thematically related.
Yeah.
And for me, my interest is ultimately in questions of value. What do we value, and why do we value it, and should we value it?
When you're applying for a master's degree, you do not need to have a specific supervisor in mind. Like, it's good to write in your letter, like, oh, there are this, and that person that I could work with at the master's level. Like, it's good to name some people based on your interests. But for the master's applications, they just want to know that, like, you have relevant interests and you could work with this, and that person is enough. Yeah, and then, like, once you're in the program, because it's just a master's thesis, you can kind of work with anyone who's, like, adjacent, or, as you said, knows the sort of landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the doctoral level, it might get different. Like, it might be better to have some specific supervisor ideas, but, I mean, even then, you start a long degree, who knows what you're going to write on by the end of it.
Well, yeah, I talked a bit about my statement of intent, and I wound up not really doing anything related to anything in that statement. I'm still, of course, working with issues of value, because if I had to do something else, I think I'd drop out.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else either, so thank you, Claire, for coming and for chatting with me, and
of course,
sharing your wisdom with the world. So, yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, whoever's watching.